Welcome to Boat Extras, and I'll see you at the warehouse when I'm next there. Bye for now. Thursday the 9th. It is the afternoon, I grant you, but only just though. Me and the tank have had a couple of days in the sun, and I'm very pleased to announce that that thing is clean on the inside, and more importantly, it is dry. So I think it's a case of putting that back together and then plonking that back in the boat. That's my theory. Now, I don't know whether that works, and I can't remember whether on the original dashboard whether it showed that it had fuel in it. I know it had fuel in it. It had a lot of fuel in it, but I can't remember if that showed that it was working or not. And I don't quite know how to test it. And I'm thinking, is it going to be difficult once the tub's in place to remove this? I don't know. I'll have to look once we get it up there, because if it's not working, I'd like one that does. So I might I have got a multimeter, but unfortunately, as you know, electrics are not my thing. So I could sort of try and fiddle with it and see whether it works, or I suppose I could connect it to a fuel gauge and plonk it in some liquid and see whether that would work. Possibly I could do that. But anyway, the most important thing is all the gunge is out, it's nicely dried, so I think we could put the majority of it back together, because it definitely didn't leak, and well, it worked. This at the back is brazed. Well, it's obviously got a brazed section on which this screws into. Now, it was functional before. Do I leave it or do I change it? I don't quite know. I know it was difficult to get the thing off because this was all rounded off, and it was a means of draining, but it didn't. The thing is, it didn't leak, so it's not an important part. I'm trying to answer the questions myself now. I think I'm more inclined. I've had a look on eBay to see if I could find a replacement, and looking at it, I think this was a motorbike part for a motorbike, a classic motorbike. That was my theory, but it did. Like I say, it did work. And I suppose we could give it a new lease of life. I mean, I've cleaned it all out and what have you. So maybe I'm answering the question. Maybe I should try and reuse it. So, with that said, I shall screw a few things back together, take it up there, and then I will meet you aboard. So, stay tuned. Right, so I've decided that I'm taking that off. I wasn't happy with it, and it was scored on the inside, and I think it would leak now. So I'm going to get myself a new one of these. And I think that's a 1/4 inch, but I can't be so sure. So I'm going to have a look. I'm going to measure it, and hopefully I'll be able to order the right one. I'm sure it is a 1/4 inch because it seems to be a common thing, and then that will obviously go on there, but I don't know whether that picks up. If I just put that light on, in there you can see how clean that tank is now, and that is all the way around, but more importantly it's dry as well. So I think we're good to go. Sorry, when I said that drain, that's the actual drain hole there. So we're going to get a new one of those. I've got the doors open because I have well, I've got the heater going. Yes, I thought I'd crank it up. It's got a big battery on it. I changed my Range Rover's battery. It was the original one, and it was okay, but those cars warrant having a strong battery at all times, because there's that much going on when the thing's shut down, that it requires a good battery, and it was an original one, so I changed it. So I've got this battery in here. Oh. You can see the size of it, and it was the original one, but it's still showing good voltage in that battery. And when I tried to put it on trickle charge, it was already fully charged, so that's good. But the heat out of here, I've got it on number 2, heat number 2, so it's just ticking off. That'll be beautiful in there. In fact, let's just see what temperature is in there. 13 Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit? It's 56 in here at the moment. I don't know. It doesn't really show it, does it, on camera? It's 56 degrees in here. Well, I'll tell you what, it's all right. It's good. Right, so there was a question about that exhaust not being suitable for a boat. There is a specific one for a boat, a marine one, and it's sort of tubular, quite a decent length. I don't know the actual length, but I would imagine it's about 12 inches long or something like that. I've thought about it, and I've decided to delete having an exhaust and having a pipe going from that heater as it is all the way through. There's a good reason for it. It's because this isn't hot at all. Now down there, that is absolutely piping hot, and I think if I wrap the new tube, new exhaust in this, because I can unwrap it all and rewrap it, it will be a lot safer. There will be no air gaps anyway, and I think I would be good to go. And the reason for me doing that is I watched last night a boater on the canal in a fiberglass boat. He put an exhaust on his, albeit it wasn't as long as this, and it went straight out of the boat, and to be honest you couldn't really tell. And let's be honest, this heater is on the exterior of the boat, it's not actually in there, is it? So I think for the sake of £12.99 from Amazon for a 2-metre piece like that, I think it's worth it. Absolutely think it's worth it. So that's what I'm going to do. So although I thought that was the end of that, it isn't. I'm going to replace that exhaust and replace it and delete the exhaust and have the pipe running all the way through with no exhaust at all. So that's hopefully coming tomorrow. So I will tackle that. Well, I may even tackle that tomorrow. Right, so what am I going to be doing today? Well, I think the first job, I'm going to tidy these wires up, this cabling. I've got some nice conduit, and I'm going to put them into position, I think. That's going to be the first thing. And then I'll decide what I should do next. I have been debating whether to do the, you know, the actual console, the steering column and the console, etc. Whether I should start restoring that. Obviously the tank's done, but now I need to order a new pipe, a new thing to go on the bottom. Although I could actually put that underneath here. Actually, in all fairness, I could put that into position and it's out of the way. I don't know. I don't know what to do next. Do you think I should finish the kitchen off? Put the doors on, put the top on, put the sink in. I think I should do that. Maybe I should. And then I think it's time to then put the windows in. I'm going to need help for that. There's no way I can do that on my own. I shall have to call on Johnny Boy or my dad to help me with that. Yeah. Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Perfect. And it doesn't smell. I know I've got windows and everything. It's just nice. It's pleasant. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should get the kitchen done, because everything else is done in here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get that kitchen finished. Well, I'm going to start it. So anyway, enough of the talk. I'm going to clear the decks round here, clear out those cupboards because they're now storage for screws and nuts and bolts and all sorts of stuff. Get all that and shove it over there. And then I can see wood for trees, and then I can start putting that together. I need to do the wiring as well. I need to start putting in the wiring. It's all coming to a head in that corner, and I'll be honest, I've been holding my hand up and avoiding these wires like the plague because I'm so unsure what to do. But I'm coming to a point where I need to do something. So I think if I start in that corner with doing the kitchen bit, then I can continue getting the cable in, and I need to make a box for the cabling because it's going to be up there. Right, okay, see you guys shortly. I'm having second thoughts about placing the power up here. I mean, I've got to understand that it's not a majorly big boat, so therefore power wise you don't need a huge circuit board. So I've got these two, and there's obviously you can put 6 positives and 6 negatives on one side and the same again on the other, so that's 12 lots of power for 12 lots of items. And I've got the same there as well, so I'm debating whether it might be a good idea if those went sort of around here, because I can gain access obviously through there, and you have the other one there maybe, and I've got plenty of other room to put stuff. And the reason for it, I'm debating whether that's probably the best way, is that I've got those cables there which are going to come along the floor, but I could bore a hole into here, which means that I could come through here and then up into these as well. So maybe, and aesthetically, that could be something else. Who knows what that could be? But power wise, with the covers, I mean, they come with a cover. You know, they come with a cover, and I've got fuses and what have you. There's another cover there. So maybe I should put the cabling on here, and I might put a secondary board on there, so then I can use the whole board. I could screw the whole board onto there and have all the wiring maybe there. I don't think it'd be a fire hazard, mind you. It's me that's wiring it. You never know. Yeah, okay, well, I think I might do that. See, I've got to make a start. I keep avoiding it. I'm going to make a circuit board there, and then these are going to get screwed to the circuit board, and then that can be put onto there. And if I feel that that's wrong, at least I can take the thing off. But ultimately, I have to keep going, and this is the problem when you're not familiar. When you're trying to learn yourself, I know it comes across like, you know, I get questions asked quite a lot of the time that sometimes I find it difficult to answer myself. But this is a problem I've got to overcome it, and I've got to make a start. If I don't make a start, well, it's never going to get done. So I think I'm going to tackle this problem head on and overcome it and give it a go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have an attitude, a positive one at that, and I'm going to get cracking on these cables. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't blow myself up because it's only 12 volt when all's said and done. I can soon check it, can't I, when I've connected them all up. Yes, I'm giving myself positive vibes. Right, that's what I'm going to tackle. And the bilge pump needs to go under there. That's another job that has to be done. So it's all going to focus around here. Stay tuned, guys. Right, so I have got plenty of these 90-degree angles. So what I'm going to do, I think, in order to have the maximum amount of circuit board, I'm going to alter these. So I'm going to put some right angles on here, on this one and this one, so then it runs that way, and then I can put one down there so it goes, you know, at this lower edge, and therefore I've got more to play with. So I think that's what I'm going to do first, is put these on, and then that gives me, as I say, maximum amount. I think it probably is going to be better there. No matter how good I make a box, it's a box on the outside. I mean, we could make a unit there to put spices and all sorts of stuff on there. I suppose it would be more valuable as something else. So that's what I'm going to do first, is those pipes. Bye for now. Okay, so I have adjusted those. They're in their rightful place now, which is good, and they're low enough now not to interfere with these up here. So I've just put a screw in each, just to give me an idea on room, because obviously you'll have cables going into each individual one there and on this side as well, so you need enough room there. And also those are for all the positives and those are for the negatives. So you need room on either side. So what I'll do is I'm not going to do any more with those. I'm going to have a look at some boat diagrams to see whether that's okay. I know that there's other bus bars as well that need to go on, because I think as you go from the thinner cables initially that go into there, then you go into another bus bar from memory, and then you go into bigger cables, because ultimately those are the ones that lead off to the battery. So this is the bit that I need to make sure I get right. So at the moment I think that's okay there, that's good. I'm happy with those. I don't know whether they're in the right place at this moment in time, but we'll come across that bridge when when I know a little bit more information. So yeah, okay, it's not been the best of days for me here. It's just been a bit fiddly. I'm very pleased that there's nothing gone wrong with the heater. That's been good, and it's kept it quite pleasant in here. So so this is going to be for the foreseeable future a work zone, so I can work on this corner. So I will. Time is it now? It's 5 o'clock. So I think I might call it a day for today and come back tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have in my head a little bit more idea on how I'm going to plan that out. I might actually get my phone and take some pictures of that, so then I can picture it and see what I need to see. And also I need to get one of those stop taps for the tank as well, so I need to take some sizes of that actually. So that's good. So I will see you in the morning. Bye for now. And a warm welcome back to what day is it? Friday the 10th is today. Well, I did find in amongst quite a few books that I've got, excuse the whirring sound, it is the heater, which is becoming, well, the first job I do is get the heater on. I got this some years ago, boat electrical system, but what I didn't realise is that it was for replacement. Well, there's no lighting on here, and trust me, there's a picture in here which made me chuckle, because here it is. That there is exactly how my brain is fuddled with doing wiring. That is exactly what I think of wiring. So the only thing I can sort of grasp that I've got something very similar is these bus bars that are on either side. So honestly, this is not going to be easy, and I know I'm not going to cut any wires. What I am going to do is I'm going to finish the ends off in order to connect them up. Now I've got a battery, the small battery that I was using for the heater over there. I've got that and I'm charging that, and I'm using that to obviously connect the wires up, so then I can see which ones, see what labels are what, and to see whether they are correct, because I'm going to use, well, either or, because they're both basically the same. One's slightly bigger than the other, so maybe I should use the smaller one for the lights, because all these cables that you're seeing here are basically for the, as we look at the boat this way, is for that side of the boat, with the exception of the nav lights, which are on either side, that I decided to link underneath there, and it follows, it tails itself all the way around. There are lights for the horn, the main beam light at the front of the boat, and the mast light. They are in part of all this as well. And then we've got the right hand side of the boat, which is probably 4 cables. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4 black, so that must be 4. So they'll be for the exterior lights on the side of the boat, and obviously the lighting is all low wattage anyway, because I've not really put anything major in at this stage. Obviously I think we should have maybe a plug socket and stuff like that, but that could be at that end of the boat. I deliberately didn't do anything at this end of the boat, because if I was to have a TV, I would be putting the TV on here, so then people could see it from that direction. So if there was anything going to go, then a socket could be put up here and it could be easily fed round the back. As for this, obviously it's gas. You probably, mind you probably have seen it actually. Let me just move those out of the way in a minute. We don't need the fire blanket yet because I've not attempted to wire it up, so I got the fire blanket up for that heater. So we have one 240 volt ring, and then the rest is gas. So I think what I need to do is I need to get Shane in to actually know, whoops, God, make a mental note, Phil, that's on the thing. To get that there, put the light on, that now needs to be connected there, that needs to be connected up to that, and then the and I've got to decide what I'm going to do with the 240 volt. I am obviously going to have shoreline, but you know, that could be connected and then gone through there and then out. That was the reason for that being over there. So I will take that one of these off. I'm going to put a piece of boarding over the top of here, and then I'm going to work on top. I might as well wire one of these up on top of here so it's easier for me, and then I can screw it into position, because we've got plenty of cable. We just need to, you know, put it in situ. Also, you know, when I said I was going to put the top on and whatnot, we can't, well, we can cut it out, but we can't actually fit it, and the reason for that is that window's not in. So this has got to come off, this has got to be leant over, that's got to be disconnected, and then the window the window has to go in, and then this then goes over the top of it. So really we can't do anything with putting the top in just yet. We can cut it to size and we can put the sink in, but we can't screw anything as a permanent fixture. So it won't stop us, but it's going to slow us down a bit, because we need to get that in. And I suppose really we need to get this window in as well. I think it's time to get that in. That one I'm not overly bothered, because I'm still bringing stuff in and out of there, but I think that one I don't push anything through. There's nothing major to come through into this boat now, really. Everything can come through that over there. So that's just a little tiny update. I know there's not much action at the moment, but my head is completely fuzzled with the cabling, and you know, oh, and I've also got that bilge pump that's got to go in with cabling as well. So I'm going to do it in small bits, I think, because that's the way my brain can only work, in small quantities. When I'm dealing with cabling, which is my worst nightmare and my total weakness, I need to do it bit by bit, and hopefully I'll get it right. At the moment I don't need to worry about the size of cabling in relations to fusing, because the cabling I've got is a 1.5, and that is sufficient for what I've put in up to now. It's from there, from those connectors over there going out, that we need to increase to maybe a 10mm cable, depending on what it's powering. So that's the bit I've got to get my head around. But at the moment I'll tackle one of those and start connecting it up. I'm also going to solder them as well, which I've never done before, so I'm going to try it. So there we go. hope you enjoyed that update, as boring as it is, and well, I'll let you see what I'm up to as I'm doing it. Bye for now. Right, I've got all the equipment, I've got all the gear, but no idea. That's what they say, isn't it? I've got solder, I've got stuff, I've got a soldering iron, I've got things that will match those screws perfectly, so I'm going to use the blues for the black, and then I'm going to put, if that'll go over the top, I'm going to get these. I'll tell you what I need my heat gun. I don't think that'll go over that cable. No, I'm going to have to use a slightly thicker one, which I do have. So I'm going to obviously get them so they're nice and neat and semi-professional, and then all the negatives will go on these buses up here, and then all the positives will go down there, and the positive main will come from there. So that will feed those two, and that's the negative that goes wherever. I've not got to that stage yet. All I'm going to get done is these and these. That's what I'm going to get done. So I just thought I'd show you my little workstation. Got the radio on, and now I'm going to start being an electrician. Hey, gloves. I might burn myself. Very good point, Phil. Need gloves, and I need my heater. Right, stay tuned. Okay, well, I've been successful in putting those on. As you can see, they are in position and firmly in place there and there. I've missed one out there deliberately, and I've labelled them clearly for now with a number on it, and those numbers correspond with these here. So I've made a list, so eventually I'll have a proper system whereby I'll have numbered the names and the numbers on a card next to it, and they'll have numbers on here, so then you can look at the card and go, oh well, that's number 2, that's number 1, and that is basically inner wall lights, etc, etc. We've got mass lights and various things. So primitive, I know, but hopefully it should be quite explanatory. So I've got all the ones from the left hand side of the boat in place. Can't see any more on there, so I need to now feed this loom which goes along there and there. I now need to bore a hole in the bulkhead to thread those through, and hopefully somewhere down there they'll pop up, and then they'll lead up to there, and then we can put them on. So I've put all the utility items on this side. When I say utility, horn, exterior side lights, navigational lights, etc., they're all on this side, and then all the interior lights, etc., are all going to be on this side. That's the idea. So you know at a glance that you've got, you know, navigational and everything that I've said will be on one side of the bank, and then the other ones will be on the other side of the bank. So we're moving on quite nicely, so I need to go down there now and just get the hole cutter, and I will carry on. So you can go and enjoy yourselves, and I will see you when I'm carrying on, well, when I've finished the rest of it. But it's going okay up to now, but we've not put any power on, so who knows what will happen. It is Tuesday the 14th, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm back doing this, and after much homework and deliberation and watching numerous YouTube videos, half of this I have done is wrong. And the ones that are wrong are the ones that require switches. The ones that don't require switches can stay on here, because singularly you can switch them on and off from over here. So the power source, according to everything that I've watched, is fine and it's constant on here. And where you break the circuit or is actually located where you need to go, which is on these. The where I have gone wrong is this bank that I have put on here, because the nav lights, the mast light, the horn, and the exterior lights, etc, etc, they would be constantly on with no means of switching them off. So they can't go on there, they have to go to a switch bank, which I have ordered and won't be here until the first week of next month. So this is going to drag on, I'm afraid, but that won't stop us from doing other work. However, I have figured out with my brain, my fuddled brain, that these are incorrect being on here, so I have to now unscrew those and leave them to one side. So anything with a switch that's built into it can live on here. That's as far as I've got in my brain. I've also, by the way, and that should be with me today, I've only got here earlier because Shane, who is the plumber and the gas engineer, I've just met him here and he's had a look, because I'm hoping that he's going to give me a list of all the items that is required to get this thing up and running, together with the end result, which is a gas bottle and connections to that gas pipe, because I want to get that over there and this over here nipped up, done and dusted. So once the electrics are done, then I can finish off this galley area, and then that'll be done. So the windows need to go in, which I will need to chat to John about, because I will need his assistance, and I might even need a third pair of hands, i.e. my dad possibly, on the next trip down here, to get the main window in. And then I want to be able to nip this lot in the bud, as I know I keep telling you and saying over and over and over again, but if I don't do that I will forget myself, and there's only me here, so I need to remember these things. I also need to get that thing that goes underneath the floor. I've forgotten at the top of my head now what it's called. It's over here somewhere. Here it is. I need to get that bilge pump automatic. That needs to go in there. So while a lot of this wiring is not sinking on, bits are slowly sinking in, and I've now sussed that I need greater thickness of cables to go from the battery. I've sussed out which ones I need, so they are on order. 10th gauge I think they are, or something like that. I've got all the connectors and everything that will go on there, but I've got that sussed. I need a bus bar to distribute certain things as well, and more importantly I do have a cut-off switch somewhere. I've probably shown it you actually in the last episode, a switch that actually cuts everything off. But then of course I've got to have a live feed going to the bilge pumps, because if I switch everything off then the bilge pumps won't work, and if I'm not aboard, then we've got a problem. So I'm going to continue doing what I can with this, and well, you'll be back. So stay tuned. Right, okay, so I've added, this is temporary, this is absolutely, well, it's not even the correct thickness of cable, but it's slightly thicker than these, and I don't want to blow anything unnecessarily, but I'm of the opinion, me and Mr. Thicky, when it comes to wiring, I thought I will try things out as I go along. So we've got the battery, of course, and we've rigged up the interior lights to the bus bar. Oh, fuses. So I think we'll use the 5 amp ones in there, because that's going to, I think, safeguard. I mean, I'm not going to put them all on, but we're going to test the lights to see if they, well, see if they work. So I'm assuming now that if I rig the earth up and the live up to the battery, ignoring these, because they won't work, because they need to go into the switch, so you can individually switch those. These have already got switches, so I'm guessing that these will work when I go over to each individual light. That's the theory in my head. So I need to rig, if I put that one on the earth, which is, we just do that with it, stay, and we do, watch it go bang. Good. We do that with that. Right, so nothing is on as far as I'm concerned. So we've rigged something up. Hopefully none of them have blown. That's because I've not switched anything on. So by rights I should be able to switch a light on. I could even switch, maybe. Yeah, so those two work. Let's have a look at this baby. Brilliant. Now we've got some touch lights under here. Yeah, they work. Oh, we've got different colours on that one. Are you going to go off? Right, okay. Let's try the right side. That seems to be good. I mean, obviously I've got to make sure I get the fuses correct for these as well. So far so good. They work, that's okay. That's okay. Excellent. Right, so as far as I'm concerned, what I have done here, nothing seems to be hot. No. So I'm happy with that combination, so I can tick that off as being okay. And this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do it stage by stage in order to understand exactly what I'm doing, because with the way I think with electrics, I'm not very good. So there we go. We may have passed the first test, which is good. So until I find the next bit, well, what is the next bit? The rest of them I can't put on because, oh, I'll tell you what I might do. I might, now that I've got the understanding of where I'm going with these, those are the exterior, so they need to go with those, because these are all going to have to be on a switch. Right, okay, so I can't connect those until the switch actually arrives. So I think I might go under where I'm stood and cable up and wire up that bilge pump. That's what I'm going to do. Bye for now. Right, I've just unpacked this Seaflow, it's called, is it? Seaflow? And it's got 3 cables. Now, if you would have asked me three or 4 days ago what these 3 cables would represent, I would not have a clue. But I now know at a glance that this is designed to go on a switch, because you've got 2 lives and 1 earth, and that one that's got a silver streak through there is designed to go on a switch, and that is your main power source, so you can switch it on and off. That is what I believe, and I know that because when I test out the brown and the let me just get you so you can see what I'm doing. If I test out the standard live, as you can see, that works, and I'm assuming that that one does the same thing. In conjunction, that is a switch wire. Yeah, that needs to be in a switch, I think. Connect to positive only with you. It actually has itself positive automatic. Gotcha. Yeah, okay. Right, so yes, we've got a live, obviously we've got a live and an earth, and then that, I'm assuming that these cables are designed to work away from everything that's here and independently feeding off the battery. That's my theory. So then it's not reliant on anything around here. It takes the juice from the battery when it's needed. That's my theory. So we can definitely place that where it needs to be, under there, but I have a feeling that we may have to extend these cables in order to get that bit further, which we can do because that cable, this grey and this blue happen to be the same thickness as these, so I could use some of that because I've got a roll of each of them over there, so we could do that actually. So there's no reason why we can't actually insert that into the floor. I may have to glue that down because I don't want to be screwing into the floor. I might glue that down. I haven't got any glue at this moment in time, but there's no reason why that can't be glued down. And then we can take these tails and we can have them fed. Right, okay, that's fine. I just thought I'd show you my progress. Slow, I know. I don't know how long this video is, but it may have to go into 2 parts. Bear with me. See you later. Right, so I think another lesson that I think I'm learning is 100% get your bilge pump in before you start building anything on top of it, because that's the hole we're playing with, and we've got to get the cables over there somehow, and these cables are definitely not long enough. So I've taken the kicker plate off here. Fortunately for me, I left a pipe, that pipe, in there, which is, I'm wiggling it around now as you can see. So if I attach these cables with tape around there, I can thread the cables around here and up to this point, and then fortunately I have left I cut, I don't know whether you can see it in there, upside down. Hold on, I need to see what can you see? There's a little hatch there that is underneath here. Well, there's a gap. I left the this plate off the back deliberately so I could feed things in and under and across there. So that's one good thing I did. So I need A, to thread these through to here for now, and then B, I need to extend these tails because there's not enough for the cables to go down there, up there, and wherever I'm going to connect it. So I'm going to have to connect these up, I think. And I can't do that because I want, oh yes I can do that because I'm going to use solder connectors. So it has built-in solder with them. So yes, I can do those. So that's what I'm going to do now. I always make myself problems, don't I? Wednesday the 15th. And I've got some more goodies for myself. Santa's been very kind. In fact, Santa seems to know my address rather well. So we've got quite a few goodies. Obviously the tape measure is a familiar sight. That is mine anyway, but nevertheless we have some thicker cabling as we progress outside the boat, because clearly we're on the smallest of gauges at the moment, so that will be the next lot of cable that needs to go in, then that, and then I think, well, in fact I made a mistake. I should have bought a black. I thought I was getting black and red. I ended up buying the red, but that's okay because I'm not at that stage. I've got some new tubing for the what's it called? The pump out, the water pump out. I forgot what it's called, but hey, we'll get used to that. I've got some brass corner, 90-degree corner things that I might need. I've also got from inside my garage some Jubilee clips, which I think will probably work quite well from my MGs, etc. the stock. I've got some new flux and some new wire, and I've got some bonding agent for putting the water thing that I still can't remember what it's called in the hull. Stick that down, so that's going to work for that. I've got some brackets for that. I've got some more insulation for whatever I need it for. I didn't buy those, I had those in stock at my house. I can't remember what that is. What's that? Oh yes, they are clips. They are clips for all the wiring, etc., to make a neat job, make it look like I half know what I'm doing. So we've got some more items there to go on the boat. Now, I have looked at how long this one's going on for, and we're already an hour and 40 minutes in to this episode, which I don't think I'm going to be able to download in one shot onto YouTube. So it might be an abrupt end, and it might be that I might have to split it into two. So I am forewarning you that that's what might happen, because it's a long one and there's nothing I can do, because I'm not the best editor in the world. In fact, probably my editing skills are as good as my wiring skills. But that's the way it is. We work with what we've got, and you have got me. That's it at the moment. So I will get aboard I will take all this and we'll resume some wiring work. So get yourself a cup of tea or coffee, because it's filthy weather out here. I don't know whether it's filthy weather where you are, but it is here. And well, I'll crack on with some more wiring. So I'll see you aboard. And welcome aboard, and welcome to the bottom of the boat, the depths, the bowel of the boat. Rather horrible word that, actually. Anyway, so we've got said pipe. We've got this, which is the closest adapter. You get multiple adapters with this Seaflow bilge pump. Finally, I can read, so I can see it's called a bilge. So hopefully that will sink in for the rest of the day when I'm talking. That obviously goes on there like that, which is cool. That's nice snug fit, so we just Jubilee that on. That, by the look of it and then on the diagram, looks like a non-return valve, so that obviously must fit on there like so. So when the water is pumped out, nothing can be pumped back in, and then that obviously goes like that, and then that, one would assume, screws onto there like so. So I think all in all, that's what we need to do. So I need to now feed some of this pipe through, like I did with the cable, so it pops out of, it's a shame it couldn't go really that way, but this is the main structure and I'm not drilling into anything like that. That is there for a reason, and if there was any access to the outer side, there would be already an access, so that's a no-no. So we're going to have to go around the houses and then up and then out. So that's what we're going to do. And then obviously I'm not going to seal this down because we've yet, and I know that the pump works, but I want to stick it in a bucket and I want to actually see it pump out, because this is probably one of the most important pieces of equipment. It's got a 1100 gallon pump out scenario per hour, for what I can gather. However, when you watch YouTube like I do and you research these things, that some of these pumps, although they quote what they quote, sometimes they don't pump out. So I would like to see how fast and how strong this thing works, and if it's not what I think should work, then we are going to change it to something that is. So I am definitely going to test it. So with that said, I shall do a bit of grunting, because you do when you get past 60, and a bit of huffing and puffing, and get this this tube round and out of the bulkhead in that corner, and well, you will see sort of a half-finished job. But as I say, we can't really test it until we get to that stage where we can test it, because we've other bilge pumps that we need to put in out there, and they are going to be done at a later date, because we want to get this inside of the boat finished. So I'll crack on. You enjoy your tea or your coffee or a beer, depending on what part of the day you're watching it. So stay tuned. Before, I haven't done anything, by the way, I've just got my ducks in a row. Just a top tip for today. Yes, every so often we have a top tip, and if you remember, or if you are a loyal subscriber and you've watched all the videos that I've put on, if you remember rightly, we have a coiled unit of pipe, like we did with the gasket that goes around the windows, and we need to lose its memory because it's got a curled up memory. And your top tip of the day is to use a heater and just go over it and then manipulate it into a nice relaxed state, preferably straight, so you're not messing around underneath there with a curled up unit. Just go over it and get it to lose its memory and create a new one. So you end up getting a straight piece of pipe. So that's the top tip. Go and have your tea. Right, okay, so as I say, that is now in position. It's got the new tube going in and out of there. Oops, get the camera right. It's going out of there, put the light on. There, like so. And it's coming out. It's coming out of here and eventually it'll go up to there. But I think it's an opportunity now to get some water and a few buckets and let's test this thing to see what it's like in real life. And then we can put it to bed, we can forget about it, and we can move on. That, I think, is the order of the day. I'm debating now where to put you. Put you there maybe for now. Lower you, put you into position. Right, so I've got water. In fact, I've got 3 litres of water. And I've got a bucket. And that will go out of there. I'm going to keep it at that height, I think. No, I will, because I don't think there's enough pipe. I think we'll stick that in there like so. I need to clamp that to... Oh, wait a minute. I can do it like that, actually. Stay. Don't move. A goddamn inch. Because I want the height. Because the elevation is part of it. I want to see how strong this thing is going to pump out. So I've now got to pull this thing out. Let's hope I've allowed enough. Probably not, knowing me. Enough. Right, I've got a kink in the pipe. Pipe has got a kink. Oh, shut up. Who asked you to start? I think I'm going to have to give it a bit more slack. Maybe we got... That should give us enough. That's better. It was twisted, that's why. Right. Let's get you in a bucket. Hey, nothing like an experiment, is there? I wasn't good at science either. fact, I let you into a secret. Only close family know this. Tarnished me for many a year, you know. My primary school teacher dragged my mother in to school with myself and said, and I quote, "Mrs. Murphy, you see that wall?" This is a Mr. Butterworth, I always remember him. "See that wall? Your son is as thick as that wall." And that's what he quoted that in front of all the class. Always remember that. So ever from that day, and I think it was about 7, because I was bored, you know, was I 7, or I was just about to go, no I wasn't, I was about 10 or 11, just about to go into secondary school. And yeah, that's what he said. So that's always stuck in my mind. Now, whether that's got something to do with the fact that I tackle every job I can possibly do, I do not know. But I'm going to thank him for saying that, because I think it's got a lot to do with what I try and prove throughout my life, is there is no job too small that you can't tackle. And that goes for everybody out there, whether they are academically as strong as I am, or as weak as I am, or not. So there you are. Right, so pipe is now straight, which is better, and it's flowing nicely. So let's get that into there. Oh, Mr. Butterworth is right. That's not going to go in there, is it? I don't think it is. I think it's going to have to be a bigger... Yes. Yes, I can see Mr. Butterworth up there now going... Oh dear. Right, chaps and chapesses. I'm going to swap buckets. Maybe we might have more of a circumference to do the job. Stay tuned, I'll get my ducks in a row and then you'll be back. So, this is rather an abrupt ending to this video, and the reason is it's gone on for too long and there's loads and loads and loads of stuff that's currently going on. So this is going to be classed as part 1, and I will see you in part 2, well, in the next few days. Bye for now. Sorry about that, but it's just one of those things when you're dealing with a boat, you just gotta go with the flow. So bye for now, and thanks for watching.